Welcome to my Ignite presentation. I'm Alana King and I'm going to be talking to you about arts-based research, which I affectionately call ABR. ABR is a qualitative methodology suitable for collection, findings, and analysis. Arts-based research is a qualitative research methodology, which means it's based on the collection of verbal data. But what if language itself is a barrier to expressing the data accurately? Could we elicit the responses in another way? Could the arts be used by participants to express experiences? ABR makes use of artistic processes and forms in one or more stages of the research process. It's often used as a topic of inquiry or for generating, interpreting, or representing research. To give you a historical example of an arts-based research method, think of Rorschach and his famous ink blot test. Now, he was using it to try to examine a patient's personality, but essentially, he is using art to elicit results from participants, an example of an arts-based research method that is widely used today. These are research questions that have led the researchers to use arts-based methodologies. How might we use drawings to study children's emotional development after experiencing a trauma? Would giving cameras to people in marginalized populations help them to express their points of view? Action research is an obvious choice for arts-based methodologies, as participants alone or researchers and participants together can use themes of the research topic to create artworks. Here's an example entitled Ballet Slipper Collage. ABR methodology using visual arts often uses images as stimuli, participation responses as data, and then has participants turn the responses into other artworks or performances. The field of education, with its complexities in terms of confidentiality and privacy of teachers and children, is often restricted in research. Through novels, plays, and films, these restrictions can be lifted somewhat through fictionalizing narratives and characters. The textbook discusses a great methodology called photoelicitation, which was used in a study of athletes living with chronic illness. At first, they were given photos to elicit the responses, and then they documented in video a week in their own lives as data for the research. A personal object, like a photo album, can be used to elicit responses while the participant reveals personal history and perspectives on the photos within. Or using a photo album not belonging to the participant, data can be collected regarding the participant's perceptions of issues such as cultural identity. Another ABR methodology is called material collection. Objects, things, and spaces, just like the ones in this living room, can be used to elicit responses and offer a systematic approach to engaging in a denotative and connotative reading of the objects and things in one physical space. This is a picture from a research study of student teachers who were asked to find or create images of teaching they valued. Whenever language is a barrier to expression of data, photo voice technology, role-playing, vignettes, puppets, dolls, and drawing help to create data. During the data analysis process, the researcher needs to declare and clarify his or her own interpretations of the products, as opposed to those created by the participants. The researcher analyzes transcripts and discovers themes and categories, and often both the process and product create data. In ABR techniques such as a participatory video, both the processes and the products lend themselves to data analysis. The very act of creating a film together with research participants lets researchers see into the decisions involved in the creative process. In observation-based research, sometimes the researcher finds narratives that make use of a personal perspective that goes beyond the written word. In this case, we can use these forms to create fiction, poetry, drama, or a visual display like the one shown here. The validity of arts-based research is related to its appropriateness for inciting participant responses and or representing findings. Researchers need to ask during the planning stages of the project, how does the method relate to the overall research question and design? What sampling approach is to be used? And how analysis should be undertaken and the results interpreted. In arts-based research, power dynamics are very interesting and sometimes challenging between researchers and participants or between participants in group settings. Introducing a photograph, a puppet, or asking for a drawing provides an intermediary agent which can help neutralize the power relationship between the researcher and the interviewee or between any imbalance that might be experienced during a group interview. Action-based research can increase the ease of response, challenge participants, provide nuances, trigger memories, lead to new perspectives or explanations, and help to avoid research misinterpretations. It can be used at any stage of research, and it's a component of multi-methods triangulation to improve research rigor. It can assist with building trust and rapport. ABR can provide a means of getting inside a context, bridging psychological and physical realities, producing unpredictable information, and promoting longer, more detailed interviews. The greatest benefit of action-based research is that it offers participants an opportunity to express themselves regardless of their linguistic ability.